So now we're on the second step, or the second playlist, and that's about bridging that gap, the gap between our everyday life, each and every moment, and that just knowing what's a good, fun, interesting, benefiting, enjoying, easy moment in our life. All these things, we know them intuitively, but then there is a whole way in which we are accustomed to living our life that comes and meets that. And there are many contradictions. There are many things that sort of create an obstacle in the way of just living a life in an easy, peaceful, enjoyable way. A life that is still, whereas our senses, like or our nervous system, is calm, our attitude is open, and it's accepting, it's loving, but it also includes a whole life with a whole vibration, with easy circumstances and not easy circumstances, with bright colors, with movements and can be big movements. So, how do we actually keep our nervous system calm, our mind calm, not be bombarded with thoughts, which are basically protection mechanism, right? It's a defense mechanism. If there is an input that comes to your environment and being processed by this prefrontal cortex and says, oh, I don't like that, or I'm against that, or, we immediately, right, take a position here. Even my body goes with that. There is a conscious or unconscious or subconscious, all of those things, you know. But there is a contraction, and immediately there is a whole other structure, a thought structure that is being built to counter that initial attack, right? And then depending on if you're lucky and smart and educated, which so many people in this day and age are, we're just smart, and I'm just an everyday person. I'm not a brilliant kind of a person. And yet there is already like a brain that is developed enough and an education that is sophisticated enough that I can already calculate and construct and like bring so many ideas and be so original and so I can create in an instant a whole other construct that comes to meet or many times defend this other construct. The only thing is, and all this is perfect, nothing wrong with that. The big thing is going back to the laughter and to the intuitive joy of life. The only problem is if we're completely attached to our thoughts, thinking as a subcategory of thoughts, really just convinced that this is who we are, then it all becomes personal. It becomes about me, about us. So my position is completely identified with who I am, who I see myself as, who society sees me as, and the way that I act and react in this world, in my life. And that's where the problem is. Because the minute that we need to not just construct these beautiful constructs, but we attach and cling to them and use them as the life raft, as an identity, then we are so attached we cannot let that go. And then all these different identities either meet or clash. And we all know the circumstances of that, and we're very well aware of the outcome of that. And so one by one, as we become aware, and this is not about some mystic out of this world experience, this is just a modern, I don't know if it is, this is just a person living right now, mid of the or beginning of the 21st century. We all have these qualities And it's just about time to update the way that we think and perceive and look at ourselves so we can all access that and still have all these ideas and notions, but not see ourselves as one and the same as these thoughts. So, this has been a short, long introduction, hopefully good enough, and I'll move on with the playlist and making some arguments about the story and things like that. I think they are self-evident. I think that, but still can be helpful just to reinstate the point that I'm looking to make.